It may have looked like a party in front of the National Assembly, but many of these daycare owners and employees say they're angry.
Ça a assez duré.
Des jeux qui ont déjà assez serré avec notre budget.
Suite après, elle a annoncé une coupure.
They say they can't afford the almost $15 million in cuts being proposed by Quebec. That averages out to almost $30,000 per business.
Out of this real surplus, we have to maintain our building, we have to replace our equipment, we have to have an emergency fund. We can't leave it. It's only $40,000 left in the daycare. I mean, $40,000, you deduct out of that $28,000, you do the math. I mean, it's impossible to can live with it.
The daycare owners say they have little wiggle room in their budgets, and there are some things that simply cannot be cut.
The educators are the ones that are with the kids 8 hours a day, you know. They're the ones that take care of the educational program. They're really the what holds the daycare together, so they need to be compensated fairly. That's not really an option.
But Family Minister Nicole Léger insists she's anxious to reach a deal, pointing to the tentative agreement reached this week with a smaller daycare group. The protesters are not impressed.
There's no pressure for us. We represent half of the network, 325 daycare. She wants to negotiate with a small group to exclude us, but it's worse for her because she's showing her ideology against us.
The owners say they can't afford to lose this fight, but if they are hit with major cuts, they can't afford to close their doors either. Samir Alamad points out that he has $2 million tied up in his daycare.
My building is only good for daycare. If I have to do something else with it, I have to pay maybe $700,000 to redo my building.
Despite their frustration with the cuts, the daycare operators say they remain determined to reach a settlement. To that end, they are expected to sit down with Family Minister Nicole Léger again tomorrow to continue talks. Shawn Lyons, CBC News, Quebec City.